What's up, everybody? Just a little change of scenery here. I want to talk about what is commonly known as the chosen ones, Messiah seeds, star seeds, indigo children. I mean, there's so many different names that have been created to describe people who have incarnated here for a very special reason and a very special cause. And because of this, these people have an extra special layer or barrier of divine protection. That's the best way I can say this, you know. I'm about to share with you a true experience that I had with someone who we would call a chosen one. I would like to freeze this moment to quickly interject a very important point that I have not heard anyone speak on. The term chosen ones is being loosely used, but we must keep in mind that just as the righteous and unselfish had their chosen ones, so does the unrighteous and selfish. Both spectrum of quote-unquote chosen ones are powerful within their own right. But here's a powerful reason why the righteous and unselfish chosen ones have a far greater vantage point. The righteous and unselfish are synced with the Christ and source of all, which allows and gives them endless access to energy and power. Since the chosen ones of the unrighteous and selfish are cut off from source and the Christ, their power source is very limited, which is why they work so endlessly to recruit, seduce, and contract with souls who at least still have some connection with the source Godhead. When we keep the aforementioned in mind, this is why just one righteous, unselfish, chosen one can balance the energy of millions who are vibrating lowly, whereas the unrighteous chosen ones will require legions to impact millions. This is someone who was watching me for years. Now, I must preface this by stating that I'm not going to give any names. This is someone who had written me and shared this with me years ago. I'm not going to say specifically how long, but it's very, very relevant to the point that I want to get across in this particular video. This person had written me because they have been watching my video for a couple of years, and due to the things that I shared in my video, they felt comfortable writing me and sharing with me an experience they had that they had shared with no one else prior to me. And they felt comfortable sharing it with me because they felt that I would get it and I would understand, which I did. So I had done a reading on this person. I had done a calibration reading and a general read, and it went through my filters with flying colors. I felt their passion. I felt their genuineness to grasp what that experience was really all about. So here it is. Here's the story. This was someone who was in school at the time, working to pay their way through. And they were working with a construction company to subsidize their education. One day, he was leaving from his construction site to head home. Now, he would go to school in the morning, go to the construction site later, and would go home and study. So, this particular day, they were walking, minding their business, when a group of guys came up and was walking behind them. Now, this person happens to be an empath. And what they described to me was that they instantly felt some sense of danger. But he continued to walk, minding his business. And he said at one point, he had to turn off through a shortcut to get to his place of residency faster. So he had a second thought to not go in that direction because he had to walk through an alleyway, a back alleyway, to get to this place. And he said for a split second he thought to go the long route, but he just decided to just go ahead and take that quick route and just speed up walking. He said when he made this turn, these groups of guys followed him as well. Now he know and feeling without a shadow of a doubt danger is coming. He said once he made that turn, within a minute of walking down that short pathway, one of the guys yelled at him and said, hey, was trying to get his attention. And he continued to walk. And he said the faster he picked up his pace, the faster they picked up his pace. And he said they yelled and said, hey, again. And he said at this point, he started to feel angry, right? So he said when he felt the anger, he just turned around, right? And the guy asked him and said to him, where you heading? And this person just said, I'm on my way home, right? And so then he said another one of the guys asked him what he had in his backpack. He was carrying his backpack. And the guy said, oh, it's just books or whatever. And the guy said that the guy was like, well, let me see what's in there. So he said these guys, as they were talking to him, they basically stood as if they were about to surround him. Now, at this point, he said he's feeling this anger come up in him. And so he said one of the guys snatched his backpack off of him. He said at that point, he felt his anger get to the next level. Then he said one of the guys asked him for money, and he was like, I don't have any money. And the guy was like, I don't believe him. And then they all started going in on him. He said at one point, one of the guys pushed him so hard, he fell on the ground, right? And he said he really felt this surge of anger come through, go all throughout his body, or come through all throughout his body. He said the next thing he knew, he stood up with his rage, with his fists balled up, with his hands to his side, as if he was about to, start throwing hands. And the guys were like, oh, just a little tough guy. Okay, you about that? He said next thing he know, he swung and everything went bright white. He said next thing he know, he become conscious. All of the guys are on the ground unconscious. He come back confused, don't know if these guys are dead or what. All he know that they were unconscious on the ground, and his backpack was all the way down further from where they were. He said he just ran, got his book bag, gathered his books. He also said the contents within was scattered about too. So he picked everything up, put it in his book bag, and left the scene, right? So he was trying to make sense of what happened, because he had no conscious memory of what happened within that split second. So he said about 3 weeks later, he was on his construction site and he took a break. Him and a coworker, they took a break and they walked outside of the structure that they were working on. And he said that they were just standing in front of the structure talking when he noticed from a distance a couple of guys walking around the front perimeter of where they were working, the construction site that they were working. Then he said that one of the guys looked familiar, and he said he honed in, and as they got closer, because they were coming around a curve to go past the structure that they were on to go in the direction that they were heading, right? So he said that as they got closer and closer, one of the guys looked familiar, and he was like, wow, where do I know that guy from? Where do I know that guy from? He said right when they got close enough where he could really see the guy clearly, he said that guy saw him, they locked eyes, and he said the guy stopped, his mouth dropped, eyes got really big, and he said the guy ran off. And that's when it hit him that the guy that he had seen was the leader of the pack that had stepped to him the day that all of that had happened. So clearly, that guy remembered what happened and had seen something that was so frightening and so terrifying that when he had seen that brother again, he ran for his life because he feared that something was going to happen again. Now, that's the gist of the story. I said it before and I will say it again. We are living at a time where so much that is hidden is going to come to light. You are already hearing story after story of people saying that they are seeing things that is on the level of the Twilight Zone, and these stories will increase. These are not all people looking for clout and making things up. These are true, real stories, and some of you guys have even experienced some things. Those who are what we call chosen or divinely protected, it's very real, and I keep telling people, be careful who you play with and who you run up on, because you don't know what group, what plane, what star family, what power structure they are connected with. And let me tell you something else. These people who are connected with some of the most powerful forces you can imagine are going to always be the most humble, mind their business, play by the rules. They're not out here hurting nobody. They're not going to be out here breaking the law. They're not going to be out here stabbing people in the back, abusing, misusing anything or anyone. These are usually going to be people who are very quiet, but very loving, but stern people at the same time. With that being, that share that experience with me, and I explained to them that they're connected to a particular divine force that is so powerful. Remember, there are layers to this. Someone may be connected to a powerful group, but someone else may be connected to a group or organization that's 10 times more powerful than the other, and so on and so forth. You just never know. So, ultimately what I'm saying is that this whole thing about the chosen ones and not messing with the chosen one is very real. I was among the first to even put this out at least 10, 11, 12, 13 years ago, kind of touching on it, but not to the level that I'm sharing now. And so to those who are out there who are of a nefarious nature, you're criminal-minded, many of them have been already dealt with. You must understand, this is an entirely different ball game you're playing in. These particular beings, they play by the rules, they play by the book, they're highly respectful of universal law, But if they are attacked or one of theirs is attacked or threatened, they will step up and show you what time it is. I'm telling y'all what I know, what I have witnessed in my own way. It's not just here on this physical plane, it's out there and beyond as well. If you run up on the wrong one, you're gonna find out the hard way. So if you guys have any stories or have an experience along these lines, just share a little bit of it down below and share with me your thoughts about this share. And anything you want to share that's relevant to this particular subject matter, it's all welcome, it's all good. All right, that's it, gotta go. See ya!